Welcome to Chawk-N-Talk. Thank you for joining in. I am so grateful that you're here. I'm on a journey to prepare my heart for Christmas. And if you've been with me so far on this journey, then we only have a couple of days left. So let's get ready for the celebration. When I think of celebration, the first thing that comes to my mind is, what are we going to eat? I mean, besides the reason that we're there, food is like the most important thing. Think about that for a moment. Food is like a vehicle for hanging out with others. When you go on a date, you go eat, at least usually. When visiting family, you usually eat. When you go to a wedding, you eat, well, at least something. It may not always be the same, but the fact that food is almost instrumental in getting us together is a very important idea. On Christmas Eve, my mom is going to have two main things to indulge the family with: crawfish etouffee and gumbo. There was a year that she wasn't going to make the etouffee due to the cost of the crawfish. And I was about to start a riot. Well, instead, I just helped her pay for the crawfish because I'm not sure I would have gotten the etouffee had I started the riot. Okay. But our Christmas Eve, it starts with a service at church, but it ends with family and food. We just hang out and enjoy each other's fellowship as well as the food. Sometimes I think the food serves as a way for one person to just shut up so that others get a chance to get a word in. I think you know what I'm talking about there. So, how does this fit in with the Christmas narrative? Honestly, I don't think it does if you look at the surface. The Bible doesn't specifically say anything about food in the story of Christ's birth. However, I find it hard to believe that there wasn't a time when food didn't draw people together. You know, Imagine the shepherds after they just witnessed the angels singing in the sky. It's probably the single greatest show that they'd ever seen in their lives. And afterwards, they probably gathered to talk about what just happened. What do you think they did? I don't know for sure, but it could have been as simple as them sitting around a campfire, staring off into space at first, while sipping on some goat's milk. As the amazement simmered down, they probably started to talk and reflect on what just happened. What are we going to do now? Hey, man, pass me some more of that goat's milk. And they kept on talking. Or how about the Magi following the star? When they stopped to eat, they probably didn't just sit in silence. Okay? They probably gathered around another campfire. They talked while they ate, maybe discussing things they had seen as they traveled, or maybe even what they expected when they get to the child. And they could have had a very good time doing this. When Mary and Joseph came to Bethlehem, they most likely stayed in a person's house. The inn in Israel was probably not like they are here in America. They could have been staying with family or family friends. They most likely spent time eating with their host just so they could get to know them and find out about what's going on in the area, since this was the place to be. Everyone was there. So even though this isn't part of the true Christmas story, I think it can be. We spend a lot of time, energy, and money thinking about what we want to eat during this time of celebration. And why? I don't think it's just about the food. I think when we celebrate something, this food brings us together. It gives us something in common and allows us to get more familiar with each other. Isn't that what God wants? God's reason for Jesus is to make us reconciled with Him. So, would it make sense that He would also want us to be reconciled with each other too? Food is a great vehicle to do that with. So, our challenge today is, now, I know you've probably already planned your feast or feasts, but think about how that food is going to serve as a catalyst for your conversations. When you make it, think about the people who are going to be sharing it with you. As you prepare your food, prepare your heart to share Jesus with others as well. You know, that's what I got for today. Please feel free to leave me any comments. And again, I am so glad that you stopped by and visited with me today. Blessings to you. And this is the Chicken Hawk signing off.